What's up guys, it's Astronomic here and I'm bringing you another episode in my weekly hero showcase. I haven't announced beforehand, so it's a special surprise for you that today I am going to be covering none other than Lord Odem. I've had a lot of people ask me questions about Lord Odem. None of you have specifically asked for an episode on him, but I figure the amount of questions I'm getting and a lot of you have got him within your teams and you're not sure whether to put him in your setup. You want to know a bit more about him, so I figure this will probably be a good one for you to see. Let's just go over Lord Odem's abilities. So the first one is Meteor Strike. This is the main benefit to Lord Odem, I would say. It casts stones on enemies. Stones will transform into the creature Hellfire to fight for Lord Odem. So it's another creature summon ability. The creature that he summons, it doesn't do a massive amount of damage, but it is pretty tanky, so it allows you to sustain quite a lot. Maelstrom. Unleash Maelstrom on the weakest enemy to cause spell damage and heal allies. Does not include summons. It's the heal that's the main benefit of this. It gives you an extra heal for your team. I did mention this in the previous episode with Brute, where I said that if you get Lord Odem and Brute, those two heals generally heal for quite a lot, and it will allow you to, in certain battles, you will be able to use them over the likes of Nago. So yeah, Heart of Mist. Fill enemies' terror to reduce their spell power. Reduces spell power by minus 532.5. That's quite a good ability, especially against spellcaster teams. The only annoying part to this is really loud, this ability, when he casts it, and it will just absolutely deafen you, as I'm sure you're going to see today. And finally, Blood Link. Blood Link targets take 13.8 of damage to the main target. So when you deal damage to whichever target's blood linked, then everyone else takes damage as well. Can be quite handy, especially if you're lacking in AoE potential for your group, if you've got single burst targets like Alexis and Lady Ember, but you're relying on blood links to be the right targets. Okay, so that's those. I think with Lord Odem, he's quite a specific role to play. He's very useful in certain situations. Now, anyone who plays on the Brute server will know that I have Lord Odem in my defensive team. You can see my team here is quite a stall heavy lineup. Some people say that it's not a great way to play, but until they decide to change the meta game, I think stall is the way to go for defense. So the idea behind this setup is I have Brute, Fantis and Renpaw's minion, which create a quite heavy front wall. When Fantis takes enough damage, summons a minion behind them for them to have to kill that. Nago will apply the dodge buff to one of these to help them stay up. Brute and Lord Odem will apply the heal to the front line, so that will keep them even further. And Lord Odem will eventually then summon his minion, which will apply the extra tankiness. The basic idea behind this is that you can stall the enemy team out long enough for the timer to run out and them to fail. As I said, not the easiest way to win. You may consider it a cheap win, but a win's a win. And when it comes to defending my arena rank, I'm not too bothered how I do it. So that is one example of where Lord Odem is very useful, and he brings a lot to the team through the heal, through the minion summon. Like I say, he's quite useful in that respect. So that's pretty much Lord Odem. That's what I think of him. I think he's very useful, like I say, in certain situations. So let's do the usual and jump into a campaign battle. Now, I'm going to be a bit cheeky again. As you may know, I do quite often pair this up with the stuff that I need for farming. So at the moment I'm farming for Kyra +2. I'm nearly there. I want to go for one that's. Let's go for a little bit of a harder one. Let's go for this. This could be interesting. The thing with Lord Odem is, especially when you're in the higher levels and you're trying to push further through the campaign, he will not replace Nago on his own. In easier difficulties where you take less burst damage, more sustained damage, he will be okay, especially if you just take a minimal damage throughout the fight. It's a heal over time, so it's not quite as good as Nago's burst heal. I have no idea why I've let him in. I've got Brute in, Fantis. Let's give this a go. Okay, so this is where you're going to get Lord Odem's really annoying, noisy trigger. There we go. That says he reduces the enemy's spell power. Kyrie's just cleaning up at the back there. If you are wondering about Kyrie, guys, I am going to be covering her pretty soon, as she's a hero that I am getting into using. But the thing with Kyrie is that you need to get her up to a high level for it to be useful, and I don't feel like I would be doing her enough justice if I did a showcase on her until she was at her full potential. So I will do a cover on her soon. But in the meantime, if you just want in a one-liner from me, yeah, she is worth getting. So, Lord Odem, let's do his summon. That's the Infernal there, and you can see him there. As I said, that Infernal will tank a lot of damage now. You can also see Kara's taking quite a lot of damage, and the heals from Brute and Lord Odem are keeping her up. So, like I say, as long as you're not in heavy content that's brand new to you and you're trying to push through content that's quite difficult, the heals will generally keep your team alive. The other thing with Lord Odem is if you can manage with not having Naga Naga and having Lord Odem instead, I feel like he provides more all-round versatility and utility than perhaps Naga Naga does. Naga Naga is pretty much only good for his heal and for his dodge buff. Whereas Lord Odem, the summon that he brings, the Blood Link, reduced spell damage, it's all quite useful all round if you can manage without the heal. And generally as well, you will find that in battles, Lord Odem will slightly out damage Naga Naga. I've had a few comments with people saying that Lord Odems don't deal that much damage. He's not intended to deal lots of damage, guys. He's really not. He's intended to be a support character. He'll deal more damage than Naga Naga generally, but don't expect him to be out DPSing your DPSs or even your tanks for that matter. Kyra's gone down, but that's not a surprise. She's a bit squishy at the moment. We're running out of time at this rate, we might not even do it. I'm just going to fast forward through this now, guys, because you've seen most of the stuff. See if we're actually going to do it. Yeah, we will do. We'll do that. Clear this in time. You can see though Odem there, the enemy one summoning the minion at the end, which could have stalled me out long enough for me to lose there if he'd got that off in time. Let's have a look at the data. Yeah, you can see there Odem actually outdamaged Brute, so I'm quite happy with that. That's quite decent. And yeah, if you compare him to these three, then he's never going to out DPS them. But you got to consider is if I had Naga Naga in that slot, he probably would have done about 10,000, 15,000 damage. So it's extra damage. Don't expect him to be out damaging your DPSs, but like I say, that's not what he's there for. He's there to give you a little bit more all-round utility. So there we go. That is pretty much Lord Odem. Now, as promised yesterday, I will be doing a bonus video for you guys tomorrow. Some of you who've been watching today and yesterday's video, you might have an idea of what it could be. I'm not giving away anything yet. It's going to be a bit of a surprise, but that will be coming tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. And I will be coming out with my new series next week, again, that I mentioned yesterday. So stay tuned for that as well. But thank you very much, guys, for watching. Hope you're having a good weekend, and enjoy.